Hello Bulldogs! As you know, one of our school success plan goals focuses on mathematics, and we have developed some professional development options coming up over the next month and throughout the year to help support implementation of the new math curriculum across Bexley and general best practices in mathematics. One of the biggest pieces to Eureka implementation success is the module study. All grade levels have participated in module studies throughout the summer. We've had some support from district throughout the school year so far with module studies, and many have gone through several module studies already with their teams throughout the year. We know that one of the biggest hurdles is time to complete these, so we've worked to come up with a streamlined process that will stay true to the learning that is supposed to be obtained from the module studies, but work to focus in on specific elements within our limited time to ensure that we reach the desired learning expected from this process. The purpose of module studies is not so much planning our daily instruction, but to develop our understanding of the mathematics and how it progresses throughout the year in our grade level and beyond. The module studies are really an opportunity for learning for teachers. We have a wide range of mathematic experiences on our team, from veteran yet young at heart teachers to brand new teachers. Teachers who have taught Eureka for years and those who have never taught mathematics in this particular way or at all. This process works to bring teachers together so that we can leverage our collective knowledge and ensure that we are reaching the first two steps of the DO4 PLC guiding questions for what do we expect all students to learn and how will we know if and when they have learned it. This will make it easier for us to plan for questions 3 and 4, which are what will we do when they have not learned it and what will we do when they have learned it throughout the module. The Mathies, with the support of administration and PLC facilitators, have developed a general module study protocol to ensure that the learning and expectations to meet our school success plan goals are clear and obtainable. While the actual process will look different across grade levels and even modules, the foundation should contain these main elements and takeaways. Remember, our goal is for this process to be fluid and smooth by the end of the year, with progress being made towards this ideal each module throughout the year. We will now review the module study protocol for Bexley. First is the pre-work expectation. Since time is limited within our PLCs will be notified 2 weeks in advance of their next module study. The module study should occur 2 weeks in advance of beginning the actual unit. This will give us time to prepare so that we are not studying the content we are slated to teach that day, that week, or have already begun instructing. During this time, it is requested that each teacher first review the module overview for the next module, then take the module mid and end of module assessment as if they were a student. Then come prepared with any questions or thoughts they have about the content within the module. A quote I have always loved, and a practice I have also been guilty of, is that the first time a teacher sees an assessment should not be when they sit down to grade it. Since this is the expected mastery level, it is important for us to see how learning will progress across the module and by the end of the module. This will also inform us of any specific strategies or rigor levels that we will need to ensure is the focus of our instruction. This is not to prepare students to take this specific assessment, but to help us know the levels students are expected to perform at so that our instruction can build towards those expectations across the topic. When PLCs come together, we've identified specific focus areas for discussions and takeaways. Remember, the purpose of this is to ensure we have a deep understanding of the content and student expectations, not what we believe our students will struggle with or identify specific individual student concerns. Those discussions will come throughout the module as we evaluate formative data results and student response to intervention and instruction. First, we will focus on PLC question 1, what do we expect all students to learn? The first thing you will do is you will participate in a preview of the plot. This entire process should take about 30 minutes. Together as a PLC, you will read the table of contents and have discussions around what is the overall plot of the module, of this story that we're going to be instructed, and how does that story progress across the topics, starting with topic A and ending with the last topic of the unit. Then we ask you to preview the exit tickets. Your discussion would then focus in around what is the trajectory of mathematics learning and student representations across that module. How do they go from more concrete representations towards abstract thinking and abstract representations of the mathematics? How does that learning progress across the module? Next, you will dig into the details. This involves reviewing the module overview and then discussing major learning that is going to occur within that module. Next will be summarizing the story, which is now that you have already completed the mid and end of module assessment, what is the progression or the coherence of the mathematics taught throughout the module? How does that assessment meet the expectations then of the standards being addressed? So the general overall purpose of this phase of the module study is really looking at the content, looking at the standards, and then figuring out what is the big learning that we want our students to do by the end of this module. The second part of the module study focuses on preparing to teach a module and focuses on PLC question 2 of how will we know if and when students have learned it. In this part of the module study, you will focus in on discerning the plot. So reading the topic overviews, looking at the topics and how they progress. Each element within this part of the module study will be for each specific topic. So the length of this really will vary depending on the number of topics within your module. The shorter modules having less topics will occur faster than the ones that have longer, including our major work. But we should aim for around 10 to 15 minutes to be spent on each topic. That'll help keep the conversation moving so that we don't get caught up in certain elements or struggles that we expect for our students. So the first part, discerning the plot, and then reading that topic overview for what is the learning that's occurring within these next 3 to 5 lessons. We then find the ladder, and for this aiming, again, to be about 10 to 15 minutes per topic. And we provided some question stems to help guide discussion as it's going along, with the main learning being focusing in on 1, how does the learning progress throughout the lesson, and how does it progress throughout the topic? How does it start more simplistic, and how does that same learning progress onward throughout the next few lessons? From there, we can also start to discuss how does the learning progression prepare students to meet the expectation of the mid-module assessment. The mid-module assessment should be the culmination of the learning that has occurred within the topics up until that point. So this discussion really focuses in on how do students reach that point, looking at the ladder, finding how we're helping kids climb up towards that expectation. Other big discussion points could be looking specifically at the concept development and the problem sets and identifying what is the expectation, which one of the questions and which questions from that problem set or from the learning that occurs within the concept development reach the learning goal, and then do parts of those go beyond the expectations of the standards. How does that learning progress and connect across topics so that we may not experience mastery within lesson 1 because we're reviewing the same topics in lesson 2 and lesson 3, giving students more time. So really this part would focus in on what is the learning and how does it progress throughout that topic. Finally, we may also look at how is the learning objective measured through the exit tickets and the student debrief, and start to plan for what is the big things that we need to make sure our students can do. Which exit tickets are worthy of coming together as a PLC to determine how are our students responding. So there is no one-size-fits-all process to really build our knowledge because it really will vary depending on the content that we're addressing. But these questions will help focus and guide our learning so that we are better prepared for the learning that our students are expected to master throughout the module. We ask you to remember that this is a learning process and that we will also be here to help support teams as we go through this learning. This year is all about learning the new curriculum, learning the expectations of the mathematics, and getting gooder at being able to do it. You know, you are our favorite team, and we thank you for ensuring that we reach every Bulldog every day. If you need any assistance with this process, please reach out to your facilitator or any of the Mathies, and we'll be happy to help support you in anything that you need. Thank you for all you do, and have a wonderful evening.